ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Well, very rarely do I get pitched a guest and I read the bio and I read the lines about a book and then I'm like, oh my goodness, he wrote this book. He's talking about me. He's talking about me. The 4 steps, the whole thing, the whole entire idea. And then I go on to social media and I see him make posts and I'm like, oh, he really is talking about this book is needed. I need this book. The only thing wrong with you is that you think something's wrong with you. And, well, just get him out here. Bernard Owens, welcome to the show.
Hello, Robert. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No, I truly, I literally was looking at the notes that was sent over to me, and I was like, so many people need your word and your book more than ever. How did this? It's a very personal story. I know how you got to this point. How did you become a speaker and an author and share this story?
Wow. Well, the short version is by default, right? Like just going through some of the things I've gone through in life and thinking that I was the only person going through these things. Um, and realizing that when in my work, when I'm in my lane at work, helping clients with mental health challenges and things like that, I'm able to help them most effectively when I share parts of myself, right? And sometimes as a clinician, you have to really straddle the line in terms of what's appropriate and what's not. So I thought that I would break away from that and do it in a different capacity as a peer support specialist. And in doing so, I can share my story and inspire others. And that's really how the book came to be. I just thought, I seem to be really affecting and helping others and helping myself when I tell the raw truth about what's going on.
So what how do you sum up the book? What do we see when we and you could grab a copy of The Only Thing Wrong with You at wherever books are sold. How what do you think is what is going on with all of us? Why are we struggling more now than I feel like ever? Are we struggling more than ever?
I think it's part of the human condition, one that nobody talks about, right? We're inundated with images from social media and even from friends in real life who don't tell you what's going on behind the scenes, right? And so they may be struggling with something, but you'll never know about it. And I think the refreshing thing about what we're dealing with now, after coming out of the pandemic, is people really want to be connected to other human beings. And sometimes electronic connections, although they were useful during the pandemic, aren't the best. So what you're seeing now, I think, is people really striving for connections that are authentic and more than just surface stuff going on, and really being with other human beings in a way that removes all the falsehood that we sometimes see when we talk to people.
I totally understand that. In real life, I teach fifth grade in New Jersey, and the students who have been home for 2 years and then them coming back, they're a little microcosm of us as a society. We are not used to
Right.
interacting anymore, but we long to have real connections with people more than ever. Um,
Yeah.
you commented something recently on social media on Instagram about being codependent tendencies and our desires to be wanted and needed by one. And I was like, uh-oh, I see
Well,
it coming from my show. What do you think makes you, where did you get the fortitude, the strength to speak about some really tough things that you've gone through in your life and speak about them so openly? Where do you find that inspiration?
at a certain point, Robert, it's like, forget it. I don't have anything else to lose. In my own world, I was like, if I've got the courage to attempt suicide twice, once at 11 and once at 21, and come out of that, then I certainly have the courage to talk about all the things, right? All the things that I've been through that I think may be able to help other people. But I will say, although that's a heavy topic, suicide and depression, I would like to lighten the mood just a bit by saying you forgot to mention that in that codependent post was the amazing Linda Carter transforming into Wonder Woman, right? So let's not sell the people short. Let's give it
It was Linda Carter. And that's what made me click on it. It was Linda
right,
Carter. Come on,
right,
Linda Carter.
right,
Oh,
right.
and I feel that. And what is you're a proponent of? What ways can people, besides buying your book and coming to see you speak at your keynote speeches and doing the
Mhm,
coaching and mentoring that you do, what are some
mhm.
of the things that the average person can do? Maybe we don't have tons of means, maybe we don't have tons of time to protect our space and our sanity and our mental health. What are some regular ways that we can start practicing right now?
The first thing you can do is work on affirmations in terms of trusting and forgiving yourself. One of my biggest and favorite quotes that I often say to others and to myself is, "What if the worst mistake I ever made was the best choice I could make at the time, was the best decision I could make at the time?" we got to start working on forgiving ourselves in the same way that we forgive other people, other friends, and other loved ones. We have to show ourselves the same compassion, forgiveness, and love that we show to others. So you can start right there. You don't have to necessarily see a therapist. I recommend it for even the healthiest people to stay in check. But I started with the book Les Brown's "Live Your Dreams," coming out of suicide at 21. Just reading that and reading that. Oh, you mean I'm not the only person that's been poor, that's been depressed, that's been called terrible names, that's been made to feel less than. I'm not the only one. And so when you start to read biographies of other people who have really come through things, it gives you the courage to maybe one day write your own biography, you know? So
Absolutely.
small steps like that. If you can find one person that you can trust to tell things to, that you know won't judge you, that you know won't speak to other people about what you've shared, start there. Find a book, start with somebody you can trust, and slowly build up that muscle to take your life into your own hands. Because
Well,
nobody's going to do it for you.
I know a good book that you could start with. It's right here. It's right there. You could grab it right now. It's on Amazon or wherever you get your books, or go to his website and click the links and find it. When For me personally, I understand so much and I related so much to your story. It was very hard for me to talk publicly about suffering from anxiety or suffering from depression, or maybe there have been many days where I felt like I've made wrong decisions and I've been so hard on myself, like many of you out there have been, about I wish I could have did this, I should go back, I should change what I've done, I made so many mistakes. And we live this narrative over and over again. You're an expert in this kind of topic. What happens to our mind when we continuously beat down on ourselves? What are the side effects, or the symptoms of us and the self-esteem and this, that we're so tough on ourselves?
Yeah, we can be incredibly hard on ourselves more than anybody else would ever be. And some of the symptoms of how we talk to ourselves manifests itself in our lives, where if you're overeating or if you're abusing substances or if you're doing things that can put you at risk, all of those things are indicators that maybe it's time to check in and get recentered. And they were definitely indicators for me, as I highlight in the book. And the great thing about coming out of what I've come out of is I've done all the things basically, and I'm still here, and I'm 52, and I'm healthy, and now I'm helping other people. So anybody who's watching or listening today, just know that you're not alone, and that help is available. And you've got to get yourself away from people who make you feel less than, because you're created in the image of something greater, and we all are. And you have to live into that, and you have to know that boldly. So that's really what I operate through.
So when you're out on the road and you're at all these conferences and you're at mental health conferences and you're speaking in front of people, what is it like, the moments that people have come up to you afterwards and said, "I've read the book," or I've heard you speak, and the words started me on a path to something better? How does that feel? How's that part of the journey been?
It makes it feel like I'm doing what I have been called to do. But it also reminds me of how the folks that I would go see and the folks that I would read about have helped me. It's the same thing. And I always really appreciate it because when someone can let you know how you've impacted them, it's that can motivate you to keep going and to get better so that you can give back in a better way.
So you help all these people, you put out all this energy to help. How do you take care of yourself? What's your routine to make sure that you are all right?
Are you serious? Are you really asking that right now? Right now, right before we start our interview, I've got a chocolate chip cookie and and I got some ice cream on the counter, softening up right now for when we finish. So that I just do those little things like to love myself, and they don't even have to be grand things. They just have to be things that remind you of what you like, and as long as they're healthy and not hurting other people, you can almost have a cheat sheet. Somebody upsets you at work, go out to your car and listen to your favorite song, blast the air conditioner, take time to get centered because you need that job to pay the bills and to function and keep going. Like, don't let someone else or other things ruin the foundation of what's keeping you going.
It's so, this is not about me and this is not my therapy session with you, but it is so it
It's
is
your
so
show. It's your show, though. Yeah.
it's so deep, it's so serious, it's so deep, it resonates with me so strongly, because
Yeah.
for so many years we allow other people's ideas and opinions of us to dictate who we are, and we
Yeah.
stop shining our own light and we stop believing in who we are because someone else told us that we shouldn't, or who we are is not okay, or etc. It's so important what you're doing, it's so valuable what you're doing, so thank you.
Thank you for having me on, man. I really
No,
appreciate it.
it's such I can't wait to order my copy of the book and follow you on all the social media of it all. You can go to Instagram right now and follow, or as we said, you can grab the book. Um, you're speaking. You have events coming up, and people can catch you around the country. They can follow you on social media. I know you keep up with things there. And
Hmm.
when we get the book,
Hmm.
is there a certain, do you have a recommendation? Should we read it at night? Should we read it in the morning? Should we take a shot of some hard liquor before? I'm kidding. What are we gonna, no, I'm just joking. What should we do to get ourselves mentally prepared to deep dive into what you're about to give us?
Well, the thing about it is, it really is. It's kind of fun. The way I've chronicled the book is because from my past, I don't always remember dates. I've chronicled the book with songs that occurred during the time of whatever I was going through, because that's all I could remember, right? And so for me, that made it fun. That made it light. There's a chapter about Wonder Woman in there. There's a little piece about Wonder Woman living in foster care and seeing that on the TV and thinking, not in a huge intellectual way like I do now, but thinking, God, I can transform. God, I can be strong. God, I can be better. Just those little things that we find in everyday life.
Well, I've taken on this mantra personally. Um, Years ago I got married. Another lifetime ago I got married, and I was a huge Oprah fan, like obsessed with
Hmm.
Oprah, obsessed with the whole thing. And I wanted to go to her Live Your Best Life tour because I wanted to learn how to live my best life, and I wanted to see all these speakers. And you got to take a picture with Oprah if you bought a ticket, and I sent it to her, and she signed it, and all this whole thing. I got divorced a year later, and I now have this picture of me and my ex-wife, and it's made out to me and her, and it's this whole beautiful message. And I said, this picture that I love so much makes me sad. It makes me sad because it
Mm,
remembers a time and place. So I went to the Staples and I cropped the photo. So it was just me and Oprah, and I sent it back to her. And I said to her assistant, I'm sorry I'm bothering you again. I just want, and the picture came back, and the message from Oprah said, life goes on and it gets better and better and better.
yeah,
And it's something that I've just said to my students. It's something that I've just said to everyone that is watching. No matter what you're going through, life's going to go on and it gets better and better. And
yeah.
that is what your story and all the adversity and everything that you've been through,
Hmm.
that's your word. That's what the lessons that you're teaching people.
Yeah,
So I'm just so excited to get myself a copy.
yeah, yeah. Well, you have to definitely inbox me when you get it. Let me know what you think. Maybe have me back on. But I will say, I agree with you. Life gets better, but you got to do the work. You
Yes.
have to live into it and know that there's something greater and live into that. So I love that story. That's awesome.
Ooh, I'm gonna have a cookie and a little bit of ice cream. I'm cheersing to you. I'm cheersing to you. I'm Amazoning the book, and then I'm going to make you come on, and we're going to have a whole. Please have a wrap up and conclusion. I'm going to go over all the lessons and the things that we've taken away from this.
My brother, I would love it. I would love it. And thank you for your Donna Summer rendition. I watched the documentary recently, and when I when, when I saw you singing Donna Summer on your social media, I was like, oh, I love this guy already. Maybe one day we can get together and talk about how phenomenal she was and how we all have slept on her in a lot of ways. And,
The
and
voice of Donna Summer and what she was able to do. Not
yes,
easy to sing
yes,
those
yes,
ranges. Oh well,
yes.
now you're my people, Bernard.
We're right here. We're
I
right.
need a whole moment. Now I could have a whole show just about that. Thank you. I appreciate you. That means a lot, truly. So
Thank you
thank
for
you,
having me,
everybody.
man.
Go to Instagram right now and make sure you follow so you can check it all out. Comment, find Linda Carter and comment about your codependent tendencies. And then grab a copy of The Only Thing Wrong with You is and get a copy and get it right now so that you can start your summer reading. It's great for a plane or a beach or wherever you are. It'll definitely get you kickstarted on the right track. Thank you so much. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you, Robert. You have a good one.
You too. Thank you so much.